Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. After seeing how much of a masterpiece this movie was, I've seen this movie many, many times, and I never did mention in my previous review. This movie managed to make $523 million in the box office, or I'll say 500 plus $1 million, almost $500 million, and that's a lot of money, and it just saves Marvel from being bankrupt. And I gotta say, this had heart and love and dedication to pretty much almost everyone, and it shows. But anyways, guys, I do want to talk up to the next review, and that is The Incredible Hulk, directed by I can't if I pronounce your name right, Lois Lear. It's a property of Universal. It's not fully part of Marvel, but because I didn't mention in my review, it's part of Paramount Pictures. It's not owned by Disney as of yet. But anyways, let's cut to the chase. The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and William Hurt. Let's start off with the plot. This is actually, to me, reason number one, the plot. It is a reboot of the 2003 movie. To me, I thought it was a continuation when I watched it, and I was like thinking, okay, so that's what happened next. He goes to the other side of the world, which does happen in the original Hulk movie. He does go somewhere in the Central America part, and it does follow aspect to that. But we do get to see the origin himself. Bruce Banner and Betty Ross test like the gamma stuff to himself, but then after the gamma tests were going right, later on things go completely wrong. He transforms into the Hulk, kills almost Betty Ross, almost kills Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the father of Betty Ross. And for what he's done, he kind of like tries to remember what he has actually done and just leaves the United States completely. And that's when the story begins, when Bruce Banner is starting his life working at a soda factory in Brazil, trying to find a cure for his own purpose to no longer become the Incredible Hulk, but at least try to reunite back with Betty Ross. But the years have gone by, and it sucks being Bruce Banner at the moment. And man, oh man, it just the plot, man, it gives me the feels for what Bruce Banner has given to me. But anyways, let's talk about Bruce Banner himself, the actor. Reason number two, Edward Norton as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. I gotta say, for what he has done, he's done a terrific job. I love him as Bruce Banner. I love him as the Hulk, even though it's voiced by Lou Ferrigno, of course. What sucks about the movie is that actions of, like, saying, for example, removing a scene from the intro or prologue of the movie kind of like made him mad and completely just ignore everything and just say, screw it, we're not going to include this scene where Bruce Banner commits suicide somewhere that's filled with ice, or the Antarctic, where Captain America is actually, and where we get to see Captain America's Easter egg, which was not delivered. Edward Norton has a hissy fit and completely says the worst to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But let's not get personal here. I got it later. Edward Norton's performance as Bruce Banner and the Hulk was completely fantastic, but what he did after was just wrong. But let's start off next to the supporting cast. Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. I absolutely like her as Betty Ross. She does give out a great performance, showing that not only does Hulk or Bruce Banner has lost everything that he cared about the most, but Betty Ross does care for Bruce Banner despite what he has done. But no matter what happens, he is trying to. She is also, like, trying to remember Bruce Banner, but at the same time in this movie, she completely forgets about him, seeing that she's with Ty Burrell's character. But what sucks is that he and her are no longer in the cinematic universe, which to me, all the future plans has completely scrapped, which we'll get to in a bit. All I gotta say is that Liv Tyler's performance was absolutely solid, and I actually loved her performance in this movie, being the love interest of Bruce Banner. That gets a plus. For the next supporting cast, I'm going to have to go with Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky / The Abomination. I liked him. I really, really did. I did like his intimidating presence. He didn't actually feel intimidated against Bruce Banner or the Hulk. He really wanted to see him transform. And that, to me, is one human being that doesn't give a damn and doesn't give a crap about what the Hulk does. And I gotta say, we get to see that happen, and he went human versus a behemoth of Hulk go at it twice. And no matter what happens, he managed to fail. But then later on, when he becomes the Abomination after seeing another actor that we're going to talk about in a second, I gotta say that Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky in Abomination does get a plus, and he deserves to be pretty much known as a great villain. But what sucks, we don't get more from him in the future, so that sucks. For the rest of the supporting cast, William Hurt as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, and then Dr. Blue. I can't remember the actor's name, but they do a great job. Thaddeus Ross, all his goal was just to take down Bruce Banner and his alter ego, without a doubt, for what is actually done, despite the damage he has actually pulled off ever since the Gamma incident. But the other performances by Dr. Blue was absolutely fantastic, seeing that he actually knows that this was the man that behind the Gamma incident, but being the first person actually to help Bruce Banner remove the Hulk alter ego and make him human again. And that to me gets a plus. For the next thing, the action sequences. They're absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love the scenes between the campus scenes where the soldiers try to take down Hulk. The part where he transforms into the soda factory was absolutely cool, but the one that I loved the most was the Abomination versus Hulk scenario, and that to me was absolutely cool. I just wanted more, but CGI was a bit expensive during that time. But anyways, they at least do a solid job, and that does, to me, fight scenes in The Incredible Hulk is absolutely good. A lot more better than the 2003 version. I hate to say that. Later on in the movie, I did like the CGI. It does a solid job printing Hulk, and it does show that it looks expensive, and it does take a lot of money to make more of it relevant. But later on down the road, this is when everything falls apart. So back to the Edward Norton part. Edward Norton, after post-production, things completely go bad. There was a scene that he produced where Bruce Banner was trying to escape from whatever he has actually done. He wanted to commit suicide for his actions for almost killing Betty Ross. He attempts suicide, but with that, when he shoots himself in the head, he does turn himself into the Incredible Hulk. And then with that, he completely transforms and just completely destroys the ice where it is. And you get to see a small Easter egg of Captain America's shield. And then with that, we know more that not only the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man are teaming up together, we get to see more of that coming soon. And I never did explain this too. In the Iron Man 1, in my Iron Man 1 review, there was a post-credit scene showing that Nick Fury wanted to get the Avengers Initiative. I don't even know who they are, but now we know that 2 members are now included, including Captain America's shield, which was part of the deleted scene. But another part is that I actually like this movie, but what sucks is that all the future whatever that has installed in the future is completely scrapped off, all thanks to Edward Norton's own alter ego and how the way he wanted things to work. But what it is that you do not say anything bad to a filming company. It's just bad. You don't actually say the worst to anybody, and most importantly, you cannot at least leave projects completely thrown out the gate. This movie did make a lot of money, but it did not manage to make at least an extra amount to at least make more sequels, which all the future installments, like having the leader, Tyrell's character, I think he was going to be some sort of doctor, maybe to get a future Red Hulk, we never got that, and then what we get to see, maybe Stanley transforming himself into a Hulk, but it never does actually happen. But anyways, guys, that's my end of my review. Everything was canceled. All future production is canceled. Edward Norton's actions in the post-production, and pretty much, let's just say, all future installments of the Hulk were completely scrapped off until Avengers. Well, anyways, guys, so I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not disappointing. It's a great movie, but what sucks is we never got anything in the future. Well, that's the end of my video. I'll see you guys next time, too. Also, does this movie manage to become better than the first movie, or does it suffer sequelitis? Find out next time with Nerd of the 90s. Catch you later.